game in Clonus, but there's no doubt about it, it's the year of the draw in minor championships so far this year. The first game in Clonus ended in a draw between Down and Donegal, and the match in Croke Park, that between Dublin and Wexford, has also ended in a draw. Dublin 113, Wexford 210. However, it's the senior game, obviously, that we concentrate on. Paul and Martin still with me here on the programme. Martin, just to reiterate who you've gone for again in this game.
Gone for Meath, Michael. I think Meath will be too strong defensively. I think they'll break even at midfield, and I think their attack will exploit weaknesses in the Dublin defence.
And Paul again?
Yeah, I've gone for Meath. I think it'll be closer, as I said, than many people think, but I think Meath will just have too much up in attack. And I think without the Dublin midfield contributing hugely in terms of scoring, I think the Dublin forwards aren't good enough to put up a big tally against the Meath defence. Meath defence really to win out in the end, so I think Meath narrowly.
That's the view of the panel then. Meath say our two men here, but what have Dublin forwards to say about that? Well, we're going to find out over the next 70 minutes or so as we join Ger Canning.
Thank you very much indeed, Michael. Welcome to gloriously sunny Croke Park. Meath, Dublin parading out here. There have been 50 championship meetings between them, 26 wins for Dublin, 16 for Meath, and of course 7 draws as well. And in a change this afternoon, the parade took place in a clockwise formation as we were looking at it there. And it really is a glorious setting, just about every space availed of here. Huge crowd, great passions usually whenever Dublin and Meath meet in a major match here in Leinster. Paul Croft there on the left-hand side, Kieran Whelan there as well. Two of the men who I'm sure will be hoping to inspire Dublin this afternoon. And incidentally, you heard Michael mention there about the minor match, which before this ended level between Dublin and Wexford. Very good contest that, but again something of a minor controversy in my view, because I think the referee played at least 10 seconds under time. Didn't quite get to the 60, and there surely would have been some injury time to add to that, but it's all by the way, because the match will result in a replay. Just looking at the teams after Meath had won the toss, they're playing against the breeze in the first half, and I've noticed that Paddy Moran has come out of the right corner back position. Let's take a check on the teams. Meath are forced to start without that wonderful competitor Tommy Dowd, almost their spiritual leader, and as the anthem plays in the background, this is how they will pan out, starting with the backs into midfield. Then up front, just one change. Fine rendition of our own Navian, passionately sung by the fans here at Croke Park. Well, we've had a look at the Meath team. Just one change up front, of course. Nigel Nestor's come in place of Tommy Dowd. Evan Kelly has gone to right corner forward, and it'll be Graham Geraghty and Ollie Murphy joining him in that front line. Well, the Dubs are back under Tommy Carr. Meath, who've lost the last 2 Leinster finals to Offaly, who gave a 5-star performance, and then last year to Kildare. It's Garda Superintendent Michael Curley from Galway who takes charge of this Leinster final, and straight away it is Meath who managed to take possession there in the figure of John McDermott. Trevor Giles, Hank Traynor trying to build here for Meath. John McDermott giving it back there to the man coming through, is Paddy Reynolds. Nigel Nestor looking for support, trying to set up a scoring opportunity. Hank Traynor. A lot of possession by Meath players, not exactly going anywhere so far, and in the end a foul is committed. And Paddy Reynolds here, the man who finally had that ball, working a free in for Meath. And I've got Colm O'Rourke here with me this afternoon. And Colm, of course, it's a Meath team without Tommy Dowd, but also John McDermott, he's had a very traumatic week, an awful week really in his life. His mother died and she was buried, I think, on Thursday. So you wonder what kind of frame of mind he is. A very brave fellow, though, to come out and play.
Yes, very much so. Great chance for me to get off the mark at the start. That's a bad miss by Trevor Giles. The one thing that strikes me about this game, the heat is going to play a big role in it. John McDermott hasn't had any training. I don't know how he'd hold up. Paul Carnaross has gone for Dublin. Tommy Dowd for Meath. The Dublin backline have chosen their men. Paddy Moran is out playing at a wing half-back. They obviously have decided they're going to stick on the Meath forwards. They've been picked on irrespective of where the Meath men play. Donald Curtis gone to corner forward for Meath. He won't stay there.
Well, he's played everywhere else. Corner back, wing back, as Enda Sheehy tries to set Dublin away. Declan Darcy fed through, intended to link up with Brian Steins, taken instead back here to Trevor Giles, playing without any sleeves on the shirt, almost Australian rules type of outfit. This is Paddy Andrews, or Patter Andrews, getting it down here towards Desi Farrell. The shoulder coming in from Giles. Oof. Almost an impossible one for Johnny McGee to take, did really well. Gets it down well towards Jim Gavin. Enda Sheehy once again. Mike plays the third midfielder. J.O. is isolated in front of goal there. John McDermott coming back in to take it. Mark O'Reilly back towards Paddy Reynolds once again, but for a moment there, it was interesting that Jason Sherlock was isolated one-on-one alongside Mark O'Reilly. At the other end, it's Patter Andrews breaking it away. Ollie Murphy. Murphy putting the head down. Andrews trying to deny him space. Nigel Nestor is available, so too is Trevor Giles. And in the end, they managed to get a free for a jersey tug. A free on the 20-metre line. Well, last week we had Jamesy O'Connor wearing a long-sleeve jersey. The other fellas have got kind of short-sleeves jerseys. And Trevor here, I think, is giving hints to the Irish team manager he'd like to go to Australia. So here's the chance. One missed already, but the second kick is put to the right. Strange kind of start by Trevor Giles.
Yes, and Trevor's, I suppose it's a big game for him. This day last year he tore his cruciate ligament here in the Leinster final with about 10 minutes to go against Kildare. Very fast to be back from a cruciate ligament injury, and he'll be hoping to play a big part today, but not with frees like that.
Davy Byrne playing in his 6th championship match. And Kieran Whelan from Raheny comes to gather, gets it away from Trevor Giles. Enda Sheehy there against Paddy Reynolds. Bounces away towards him again. Tackles coming in. Cormac Murphy was the one fouling. Sheehy belting it in towards that danger zone. Ooh. It's freed inside towards Jason Sherlock. Great save! O'Sullivan does really well against Sherlock. And the referee has spotted a foul, and it's going to be a free out for Meath. But there was a real chance for Jason Sherlock. He was one-on-one against Cormac O'Sullivan, the St. Patrick's man, as he was played inside there beautifully. Ian Robertson set up the chance. Good save. That's fisted on there by Nigel Nestor. Johnny McGee bending his back, seeking out Paul Croft. A Dublin defence without Paul Curran this afternoon. He's a big loss. Here's Cormac Murphy. Jim Gavin. Gavin trying to get that ball inside towards Jason Sherlock once again, but held away from goal, and the backs do well. Very good work by Mark O'Reilly from Summerhill. Good positional sense.
Yes, well, Jim on the Dublin team to put away those sort of chances, so he'll be very disappointed with that. But we'll probably see plenty of goal chances today, because we're going to see a lot of long kicking of the ball, and both sides are going to play 2 men up front, so we could see a lot of goal chances if the forwards are able to get an advantage on the full-backs that are left inside.
The wind supporting Dublin for the opening 35 minutes. That's a foul on Enda Sheehy.
Well, the decision to play against the wind is a traditional Meath one. They always try and end up having the wind at their backs for the last half. So they won the toss inside.
Johnny McGee belts it in, but the inside forwards have come towards the half-forward line. I saw Ian Robertson there with an arm out as if to say to the free taker, well, come on, give us a chance. This was Enda Sheehan just a little while ago, sandwiched there. Nigel Crawford was involved, so too Trevor Giles. This is coming towards Nigel Crawford. Plenty of Dublin players there as well, and Brian Steins rather, jumps over his opponent. It's back there with Kieran Whelan, good block down. Paul Croft coming onto it, stopped however by Donald Curtis. Sheehy, challenged late, still hitting it in there towards Jason Sherlock. And everybody's standing around waiting, expecting something. And the referee, they were expecting a free. Nothing came of it. The referee says, I didn't blow, play on. And it was Declan Darcy who was going through. Well, that was amazing because the players froze and looked at the referee expecting a 13-metre free. None came. There is one now, however.
Yes, I think we have the worst thing possible at a football match, somebody with a whistle in the crowd, because it did appear as if a whistle went, everybody stopped. Big advantage to Dublin now.
And it's a chance for Jim Gavin to tap over his first point of the match. Jim from Round Towers, the Air Corps pilot, with the first point of the game, and that after 7 minutes. Well, he got a late call-up in 1995, I seem to remember, to face Meath, took his chance, and then, of course, went on to play a very full part in that glory season which resulted in Dublin beating Tyrone in the All-Ireland final. Cormac O'Sullivan already busy in the action towards John McDermott. Breaks down from him, however, towards Enda Sheehy. Good work by Nigel Crawford. Players coming across there following the flight path of the ball, but it's Johnny McGee who picks it up. Paddy Moran beating Donald Curtis to it. Enda McManus sending it short there to Paddy Reynolds, playing on the left-hand side in a switch with Hank Traynor. Johnny McGee once again. Brian Steins. Enda Sheehy is calling for it. John McDermott is there. John holds his shirt, however, and it's a free to Dublin. Declan Darcy being entrusted with the kick. And the linesman wants him back a couple of inches. Now will it curl sufficiently? Still in play. Fisted down there by Darren Fay, one of the very best, if not the best, inter-county full-backs at the moment. Jason Sherlock seemed to touch the ball on the ground. Free to Meath. McDermott's kick to midfield. Brian Steins and Hank Traynor was coming in after it, fouling the Dublin player, however. Steins taking it quickly. Dazzy Farrell going this way and that against Enda McManus. Trying to get it onto his right boot, and it goes left. The Hill was ready to salute a point, but I think from this angle here, we were right behind it. The umpire got it right.
Dublin will be very happy with their opening 10 minutes. They're getting most of the breaking ball around the middle of the field. John McDermott doing a foolish thing there. He shouldn't have been kicking that ball over at the far side of the field and kicks it out to his own man. But Dublin will be happy enough, even though they've only 1 point on the board.
O'Sullivan today playing in his third championship match with that kick out from Meath. Paddy Moran kept going there by Enda Sheehy. Galvin. Here's Desi Farrell, involved in the build-up in that last attack inside towards Jim Gavin. Paddy Reynolds just getting out of his way. Ian Robertson with the shoulder on Nigel Nestor. Hank Traynor once again. Trevor Giles, good approach play here. Donald Curtis, not the greatest of kicks, but somehow it reaches Ollie Murphy. And then Potter Andrews, something of an unknown to many of the Dublin fans, coming in here to make his contribution. Here's Johnny McGee. Hit into space beyond Darcy. Run back again by Meath to Darren Fay. Oh, Giles given little chance by that wayward kick.
Padder Andrews showing a great burst of pace there. He was on a scholarship in UCD there in his first year. Identified straight away as being a county man.
Cormac Murphy. Once again, Trevor Giles. Into space towards Graham Geraghty. We haven't seen him in the action so far against Paddy Christie. Geraghty transformed from the half-back line, kicking and putting it over the bar. Very good work by the Meath captain. Very much an individual piece of work there on the part of Graham Geraghty. So 1-1. Good approach here.
Yes, and what we'll have in the Meath full forward line again is that the forwards will switch positions and run across field, and the balls coming in will be kicked at angles. They won't be just kicked straight up and down the pitch. In that case, the first time Geraghty gets his hands on it, and a very good score.
Again, it's Donald Curtis trying to set the Meath forward line going. Trevor Giles in towards Ollie Murphy. Support close to him there. Murphy kicking a beauty. 2 in a row for Meath. Ollie Murphy, his first point of the Leinster final, and he's made it 2 points to 1. Well, he's quite an experienced inter-county player at this stage. It's his 15th championship match. He'd won 3 against Offaly, and here he gets his first for the day. Fisted down there by Nigel Crawford. And Trevor Giles is picking up an awful lot of broken ball. This is John McDermott, the Irish captain against Australia last October. Beautiful ball played inside here. And Kelly's in and he's won. Should have been. Murphy has the second chance and he's put it wide. It was a 1-to-1 situation with Davy Byrne, but credit the Dublin goalkeeper here for a very smart piece of keeping. It was beautifully played there. Evan Kelly had the opportunity to stick that ball away, and Murphy with the follow-up attempt.
So it's 1-1 and goal chances missed. Again, Evan should have been putting that ball low, as J.O. tried to do at the other end.
Brian Steins quickly off the blocks there. Always anticipating. Keith Galvin. Nicely down for Desi Farrell. Players having to work really, really hard to get decent possession, as you'd expect in a Bank of Ireland Leinster football final. And I noticed that Desi Farrell is limping. That's Enda Sheehy here, but Desi Farrell is limping quite badly. He's gone on the ground right now and will need attention. Desi from the Nafiana club, a real all-rounder in sport, played international hockey at under-18 level, still plays a little bit when the football season isn't in full flow, so it gives the opportunity for all the subs to get off the bench, do a little limbering up just in case they get the opportunity to come in. But Desi has become a very influential member of this Dublin attack.
Absolutely, and he'd be a huge loss to him, because along with Paul Cornish, of course, they're the 2 most experienced players. The game itself is going to be a test of the subs bench on both sides too, and neither side probably would feel that they're as strong as they would like, so they're going to need probably 3 subs before this is out with the intense heat. Must be 30 degrees on the pitch there with the heat reflected from the stands.
Meath have a free, but I've just seen Dr. Noel McCaffrey give a signal to the bench, waving his hands, that Desi has little chance of continuing in this match. He's still there, but definitely the indication from the doctor was that a replacement will be required. That'll be a big loss. He can barely walk at this stage, but he's still on the field. Dublin mounting an attack. Paul Croft. Here's Kieran Whelan. Big kick from Kieran Whelan, stopped once again by Cormac O'Sullivan. It comes out to John McDermott. Desi Farrell is limping and trying to get in with a tackle. He was the nearest man that time to McDermott. Here's Ollie Murphy. Powder Andrews is close to him. Stein's not too far away. An ambitious one in towards Graham Geraghty. Davy Byrne comes judiciously fisted away, but only as far as Trevor Giles. High up into the air. Lots of Dublin players there. 2 from Meath, and one of them managed to get the fist to it, and that was Ollie Murphy. So let's head down to the sideline and get some up-to-date information from our reporter down there this afternoon, who is Micheál O'Donnell.
Yes, Ger, as you may be able to see, Desi Farrell is on his way off the field. In his place, Ray Cosgrove, the man who was down as another on the programme, number 24.
So Ray Cosgrove from Kilmacud Crokes comes into the match.
Ray Cosgrove has been an off the team for the league campaign, but he's a real top of the ground player. Has a lot of pace and should be suited by the ground conditions that we have at the moment.
Well, it's sad to think that Desi Farrell's involvement only lasted about 15 minutes, and Denda McManus now in need of a little bit of attention. Ironically, they were marking one another. And he seems like he's going across, and Sean Boylan is consulting with him. So I just wonder whether McManus will be able to play on. Limping, but not limping quite as badly as Desi Farrell was. So as of right now, it would appear that Meath are down to 14 players. Dublin with 15. Brian Steins belting it down towards Declan Darcy. Taken there by Nigel Crawford, big strong fellow. Donald Curtis up towards Evan Kelly, popping up everywhere. Playing most of the match at right half forward, now coming in on the left. Needing assistance. Support towards Trevor Giles, not a good ball, however. Jonathan McGee gets there first. Out towards Kieran Whelan. Moving menacingly forward, deep into the Meath half of the field. It's a great run by Kieran Whelan. He's a former athlete, showing his pace, but not finishing with the kind of point that he would have wished. But a devastating run right through the heart of the Meath defence. Well appreciated on Hill 16. Not that he'd been happier had he been able to lay it off and set up a point. And some more news, I think, on the sideline as we watch Enda McManus receive treatment. Mihal.
Yes, Chair, and it seems the more this goes on that Enda McManus won't be able to continue. They're working feverishly on his hamstring. Richie Keeley is warming up, if that's the operative phrase to use in a day like today, and we could yet see him enter the action.
Well, he's been involved in the last couple of matches, coming on as substitute, Richie Keeley. It's going to be a free to Meath. Dublin player falling down on the ball. Nigel Nestor opting to leave this one. And Paddy Reynolds will come across and kick it. I hope to take it away from the attentions of Brian Steins. Towards Trevor Giles. Pushed to the back by McGee.
Well, the likely Meath change will see Richie Keeley coming in at wing back, and Han Traynor would switch into the position that he plays at club level for Simonstown at centre back.
Yeah, Richie Keeley has just come into the match as a replacement for Enda McManus. This has come straight up towards Richie Keeley. Well, what a start that would have been. 5 wides now for Meath.
Well, it looks in fact as if Donald Curtis has gone back. He'd be well used to playing there as well, and Richie Keeley will fill in a corner forward for him.
Well, Davy Byrne doing what John O'Leary did so often, taking the kick out outside the small rectangle. Technically it should be on the line or inside. His predecessor, of course, played in 70 championship matches. Quite a record. Evan Kelly. Giles. Again, it's some very good work here by Keeley. Back to Ollie Murphy. Meath looking to increase their lead. That's a fine kick. Many people have compared his style, of course, to Tommy Dowd. Puts the head down, he's direct, he's brave, and he's decisive. And he's now got a second point, and it's now 3 points to 1. Tom Carr, second season in charge. Big occasion for Tommy Carr. Richie Keeley fed that one beautifully. Tried to get by Padder Andrews, went right, then in left, and a smashing finish. Jim Gavin hops, the ball hops over his head. McDermott back there. Always so very secure. Donald Curtis now at centre-half back in the changes made by the Meath selectors. Trevor Giles, everything seems to come through him. Darcy, diagonally across here. Ian Robertson was being held back by one of the backs. Darren Fay was nearest to him. Ian Robertson will hope to get some decent ball, but he's up against one of the best in the business in Darren Fay. So Jim Gavin has already pointed one from this position. And now with about 21 minutes gone in the match, it's a real opportunity for Dublin's second point. Gavin has got both of them. Very good kick indeed by Jim Gavin from Round Towers. But Dublin all this time playing with the breeze, and they'll need to get more and more ball down to the inside forwards. Well, a pensive Sean Boylan here. It's his 68th championship match in charge. He's won 45, including 3 All-Irelands and 6 Leinster finals. Cormac O'Sullivan's kick to midfield. Steins breaks it down, but Meath are anticipating. The homework has been done. And here's Nigel Nestor. Up again towards Ollie Murphy, and when he's isolated against Padder Andrews, he causes all kinds of consternation for the corner back. Andrews conceding the free in. Andrews himself, of course, came in the last match and replaced Tom O'Lynch. Well, now Trevor Giles has missed the first 2 frees that he was given to take. This a more favourable one for a right-footed kicker. And he's kicking in towards a section of the Meath fans behind the canal end. About 4,000 seats available for this particular final. And that curls delightfully. Trevor Giles with his first point of the match. But he's seen so much of the action. He's like an old-fashioned phone telephonist. Everything comes through him. And he has stretched it to 4 points to 2. Short kick out taken by Dublin. That's Paddy Christie. Down towards Jason Sherlock. Fumbled by Mark O'Reilly, but he recovers possession. Nigel Crawford over the head of Paddy Moran, who was an injury doubt going into this match. Here's Paddy Christie. He's held back by Graham Geraghty, and the referee could have taken his number. Well, I think he has in fact recorded his number. Free taken quickly there by Paul Croft, back after a lengthy suspension. And that's Jim Gavin, and Gavin has put it over the bar. He's got all of Dublin's points. 2 from frees, that 1 from play now. And there's just a point between the teams. Anybody's match.
Well, as in earlier, we're seeing a lot of long kicking of the ball. It's just been more or less hoofed down into the full forward lines on both sides, and to Ian Robertson on the Dublin side, and Graham Geraghty and Ollie Murphy on the Meath side, and then the Meath forwards and Dublin forwards are coming in hoping for a break.
2 Meath midfielders trying to take possession there. It's Paul Croft instead, and stopped by Donald Curtis. Delivered by Brian Steins. Ian Robertson getting out ahead of Darren Fay, trying to set up a scoring chance for Jason Sherlock. Into space, the referee had to get out of the way of a couple of players, and I think the referee may have said to Donald Curtis and also to Jim Gavin, sorry about that, wasn't expecting the ball to come across like that, and he just got accidentally in the way. So the ball thrown between the 2 big midfielders. Steins goes to ground. Meath get it back. Paddy Reynolds emerging. Giles. Reynolds holds on. A counter-attack by the Royal County. Ollie Murphy expecting something, getting nothing because there was tenacious defending there. But the ball is thrown, and it's going to be a free. The referee explaining why. An illegal hand pass. There were about 3 examples of that in the minor game before this. Trevor Giles, a point so far from a free. Nigel Nestor, and Padder Andrews was careering into the back of him. And and it's going to be a free for Meath. So a chance to put 2 between them once more.
And very bad marking there by the Dublin backs on Nigel Nestor, allowing him completely free. And secondly, a very silly tackle by Padder Andrews. It was very obvious what was going to happen there.
Well, Trevor Giles, his 4th free against Davy Byrne's goal. Trying just to curl this one in and get the angles right, and he's done it to perfection. Finding his scoring touch. 2 successful frees out of 4 taken so far. And once again, Meath have a 2-point lead. Just looking at the half-forward line for Meath right now, it is Evan Kelly, Trevor Giles and Nigel Nestor across left half-forward. That's Nigel Crawford, won back by Trevor Giles. He's doing an immense amount of good work. Paddy Christie. Here's Johnny McGee. Ian Robertson running diagonally across, can't quite take it, comes back towards Evan Kelly. Fouled by Keith Galvin. St Sylvester's player concedes the free, which is taken quickly. And here's John McDermott from screen. McDermott teasing Enda Sheehy. Trevor Giles, the hand pass inside, intended for Nigel Nestor, won back by Johnny McGee. Hank Traynor. Good positional work here by Traynor. Nestor being given a bit too much room by Johnny McGee, and he curls it beautifully. Nigel Nestor with his first point of the match, but the marking was too slack. McGee was a good 2 yards off him, and that was critical because Meath have now made it 6 points to 3.
That's twice that Nigel Nestor has got away from Paul Prof. He should be sticking a lot tighter to him.
That's going to be a free to Dublin, and attention may be required. Appears to be Jonathan McGee from Kilmacud Crokes, known to his pals as Johnny, who requires the magic work of Dr. Noel McCaffrey, former Dublin player, of course. Well, both sides, in case you've come in late to see this Bank of Ireland Leinster Senior Football Championship final, both sides have lost key players. They were marking one another. Dessie Farrell got off for Dublin, Enda McManus got up for Meath, and Keith Galvin with the free kick. Brian Stein's coming through, players in support, and he is held back. John McDermott was tracking with him. So a free to Dublin, and a chance to cut into that Meath lead. Declan Darcy will kick it. Played 16 times for Leitrim, 6 in the championship for Dublin, including this one. And that's his first point of the day.
Well, the pattern of the game is fairly clear at this stage. Meath forwards are finding it a good bit easier to score from play. Dublin have only 1 point from play and relying to a large extent on frees.
Yeah, that 1 point scored by Jim Gavin. The other 4 points, 3 of the 4 points coming from place balls. So about 6 minutes to go to half-time. Enda Sheehy can't hold that one. Evan Kelly comes in, but it's won back once again by Kieran Whelan. Paddy Moore and half blocked. Donald Curtis judging the bounce, but giving it away to Ian Robertson. Brian Stein's up in support, but no chance whatsoever of containing that. And this is the man who had an operation on his back yesterday, disc problems, been causing him a lot of difficulty, and good to see that he's out and about and able to watch the match. Johnny McGee. That's hit ahead by Keith Galvin. Jason Sherlock had a goal chance earlier on, did well to keep the ball in play. Mark O'Reilly drags him down, and Dublin will have themselves a free kick. It's Mark O'Reilly's 16th championship match, his 4th championship season. Very consistent performer over the years. He's enjoyed Sigerson's success, of course, down in Tralee as well. So Declan Darcy to take this free kick. Well, it'll be up to the big men inside there to try and keep the ball in play. Nigel Nestor challenged by Brian Steins. Free kick to Meath. He's a real willing, hard worker, Nigel Nestor. A point already in this match. Really up and down the field, great engine. John McDermott and Brian Steins contesting for that one. Nigel Crawford getting it out towards Hank Traynor. Trying to sell a dummy to Kieran Whelan. He's not going to be kidded by that one. Whelan tripped. Straight away the guilty party in there to acknowledge the error. It's Nigel Crawford from St Peter's in Dunboyne. Number has been recorded by referee McCurley from Galway. Sheehan sending this one in dangerously, and there are players waiting for it inside there in the small rectangle, sporting the Dublin shirt. And for the square ball, the free out is given. Quickly taken. O'Reilly. McDermott playing deep. Trevor Giles there against Jonathan McGee. Kept that ball moving there to his fullback, who's Paddy Christie. 3 minutes to go to the break. Cormac Murphy does really well there. Trainer towards Trevor Giles. Inside towards Ollie Murphy. It's decent ball for Ollie Murphy to try and turn Paddy at Carnaross. Being roared on. And the shot comes off Paddy Moran. Didn't know too much about it. It's gone for a 45. Well, some very good approach work as ever here by Ollie Murphy, the Carnaross man, doing splendidly against Andrews, and I don't think Paddy Moran knew much about that. It could just as easily have gone in past Davy Byrne. Well, the linesmen here this afternoon supporting referee Mick Curley have been up and down there doing their work, very vigilant as ever. Brendan Gorman from Armagh and Brian Crowe from Cavan. The referee having words there. Graham Geraghty is being called across, and Johnny McGee as well. So it looks like yellow cards are going to be issued to both men. So the first 2 cards issued here against McGee and against Graham Geraghty. Under 2 minutes to go to half-time now. Trevor Giles has come out to hit this 45. And he's put it to the right. So still just 2 points separating the teams as we head towards the half-time break. And of course, not just the championship of Leinster at stake here, with a place against Armagh, as we saw earlier, who beat down in the first of the day's provincial finals at stake here. Davy Byrne, Brian Steins and John McDermott, again some broken ball. Nigel Crawford coming in here, willingly taking it forward. Nigel Nestor ran a good 10 yards. Referee says, come on, back you go here. Giles, again. Ollie Murphy here against Andrews. He seems to have the better of his meeting with Andrews so far, but this time it comes off the upright. But it is very noticeable that Meath very cleverly are trying to isolate Ollie Murphy in front of goal against Andrews, and that time he went so close.
Yes, and the other thing about it, every time Trevor Giles gets the ball, there's quite a lot of times in the middle of the field, he's looking for Murphy almost every time. So if Dublin were able to clamp down on Giles, it would cut out the ball to Murphy.
So into injury time. Paul Croft coming right across the half-back line. to find Brian Steins. Back to Croft once more. Not a good ball. Reynolds seizing it, and the referee just about playing 55 seconds or thereabout of injury time. And at half-time it's Meath who are marginally the happier. Both goalkeepers called in to make decent saves, Davy Byrne and Cormac O'Sullivan. There were a couple of goal chances, and both keepers certainly responded to the challenges presented. The first one coming quite early in the half, but it's a half without goals. 10 points, Meath 6, Dublin 4.
Welcome back again. So Dublin and Meath taking a well-earned rest at half-time after a hectic 35 minutes of the Leinster football final. Let's take a look at the statistics from that first half. Meath, of course, leading at half-time by 6 points to 4. A lot of frees in that first half. It didn't quite seem that way as it was going through, but well, as you can see for yourself, there are 30 frees in the game. 7 wides against 3 for Meath, and the 2 yellow cards in the game, they went against Graham Geraghty and Jonathan McGee. Yeah, Paul, as I said, it was a hectic 35 minutes of football. I suppose it still pick a winner, although Meath just seemed to be edging it.
That's right, yeah. The game is played at a high level of intensity, as we'd expect from Dublin-Meath matches. But I think what the pattern that's emerging, certainly after the first 15 minutes of the game, is that Meath are becoming dominant in the middle of the field. And John McDermott and Nigel Crawford are having good games in that position. And also the breaks have been picked up by the Meath half-forward line, particularly Trevor Giles. And certainly Jonathan McGee has given him a little bit too much room, and he's looking for Ollie Murphy in the corner. And Ollie Murphy has the beating of his man today. And maybe hasn't, he's got 2 points, but he should have maybe got a third point towards the end and had a goal opportunity, or half a chance earlier on. But that's the pattern that's emerging. With Desi Farrell going off the Dublin team, it's hard to see where Dublin are going to get the scores from in the second half. Jim Gavin is threatening, he scored 1 point from play, but all the other scores have come from frees. And Meath have scored a number of points from play. And in reality, Meath, while they're 2 points ahead, should really be probably 4 or 5 ahead at this stage, because Trevor Giles has missed a few chances that he normally would put away. And towards the end there, they had a couple of chances to score points, but haven't taken them. But yeah, I still think Meath are going to win it, because, as I said at the start, you know, hard to see Dublin contributing a huge amount from their forwards at this stage.
Well, without Tommy Dowd, they would have been looking to Ollie Murphy in that first half. He was man of the match the last day against Offaly, Martin, and certainly he's justified that tag so far in this game.
Certainly, Michael, he's ticking up where he left off the last day, and the fact we just see in this situation here, it shows out very well for the ball, and like he's marking a very inexperienced player in Pather Andrews, and again dispatches the ball beautifully over the bar with his left foot. The thing I like about him is, first of all, he has great balance, and the second thing about him is he's a great spring for the ball. Now here again, if you know, he's the feet of a dancer actually, Michael, the way he can kind of swivel by a guy there, and again beautifully put the ball over the ball with his left foot. And you know, like all good corner forwards, he's very comfortable of either foot. And I've seen him a couple of times during the year in National League matches, and for a small man he's the most wonderful spring for a ball, and he's causing endless trouble in there at the moment for the Dublin defence.
Goal chances on both sides, Paul, and chances missed that could be costly whichever way this game works out.
Absolutely, but there's always only going to be a couple of chances, goal chances in any games between Meath and Dublin, and the first one fell to Jason Sherlock early on, and this is really what he's in the game for. And you'd expect Jason to score in those situations, particularly with his soccer background. But I think what he should have done, and if he was watching the game earlier where Oisin McConville was in a similar position, kicked it low underneath the goalkeeper. He hit it up, if you like, chest height, and gave him the opportunity to save it. Here was a great opportunity for Meath's Evan Kelly. A great pass by John McDermott. Again, he took a little bit too much out of it, but credit to Davy Byrne for coming out and narrowing the angle. He probably should have shot once he got the ball, because he had a better angle to shoot at. And again, he kept it up a little bit too high instead of placing it low along the ground. Didn't have the actual forwards instinct in that situation. So 2 good opportunities, 2 good saves, but you know, maybe Dublin will miss, if you like, that goal opportunity that Jason missed in the first few minutes. It may be vital in the end.
It just may be. OK, we're going to take another commercial break. We have the second half of this Leinster final after that. Meath then lead Dublin by 6 points to 4 at half-time in the Leinster final. Martin Carney, where are Dublin going to shake this thing up in attack if they're going to get a grip into this game?
I don't know, Michael, where they're going to shake it up actually, because since Desi Farrell has gone off, they've lost their spiritual leader, and the 2 experienced players in their forward line, Declan Darcy and Jim Gavin, both of those need to start assuming some responsibility. Neither of them have got into the game. At full forward, Ian Robertson, who's had an outstanding championship to date, hasn't really made the impact I would have expected on him, but that trio have to start doing something if Dublin are to win it.
OK, gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. Let's go back to Croke Park. The teams are back out in the field, I gather. Let's rejoin Ger there.
This is the canal end. Here's the canal end, and there is the canal itself, diverted somewhat, but this imposing news stand, which is going to link up with the Cusack stand, if we can still call it the Cusack stand, although the watch tickets tend to say news stand, but this is the even newer one, gaining in height and so impressive. And I'd say for those fans down there of Meath football, a lovely view, plenty of wonderful sight lines, and 4,000 seats on sale for this Leinster final. Well, both teams, as Michael indicated, back out on the field at this stage. I don't think there are any changes in either side. And, well, there's a well-known gentleman from the world of politics, Tony Gregory, of course, the TD for Dublin. So it's going to be Michael Curley who will start the second half with just 2 points between the teams. In relative terms, a low-scoring match. So 35 minutes to go to determine who will win Leinster and who will go through to face Armagh in the All-Ireland semi-final. Stakes are huge. Brian Steins dropping this one in towards Ian Robertson. It's won by Declan Darcy, and Darcy was restrained unfairly. Cormac Murphy was pulling him back, and Donald Curtis wasn't too far away. And Darcy taking the free kick himself. Started on the 20-metre line, made plenty of headway, took his opportunity, and he's now got 2 points. So the gap down to 1.
Yes, and I suppose that is one of the advantages of taking a free from the hand, because you can really walk 3 or 4 paces from where you should be actually taking it. It's a big advantage in taking a free from the angle left on the pitch.
I think he gained about 3 or 4 metres that time as he was going in to take that free. This has come out here towards Richie Keeley. Nigel Crawford. That's across here towards Graham Geraghty. Keeley lets it fall from his grasp. Boring fly kicking that one away to Brian Steins. Now Declan Darcy running into 2 stern Meath men. Robertson beaten here for it, and it is Cormac Murphy who gets it clear. Once again the substitute Richie Keeley from Dunshaughlin. So he manages to get the free for Meath, but it'll be John McDermott who will come up and take it. It's a huge one from McDermott. Inside again towards Ollie Murphy, very much the target man. Graham Geraghty trying to drag it free towards himself. Nigel Nestor's available. Chance to put this one over the bar. He's fluffed it. Still in play. At least it was up to that point there. It was a chance and he realises it. So just 1 between them. 2 sides that know one another so really, really well. Davy Byrne from Ballymon Kickham's towards Kieran Whelan, breaks down here. Declan Darcy trying to make some headway, stopped. Trevor Giles has a chance to look up and place his pass inside towards Graham Geraghty, falls down here, and once again it's Ollie Murphy. It comes back that time off Paddy Moran. It hit him rather than anything else, and it comes out into the centre. Paul Croft. Beautiful ball trying to pick out Jason Sherlock. Good running to take him away there from Mark O'Reilly. Declan Darcy had a lot of difficulty trying to hold that one. Hank Trainor's there trying to get it up. Eventually succeeds. Oof. Straight away he's given possession back to Dublin. Johnny McGee, Paul Croft. This is the other member of the half-back line, Keith Galvin. Pursued by Evan Kelly. And in the end he's pushed by Kelly and down he goes rather dramatically. And Kelly has gone across to him because I think he feels the Dublin player is feigning injury. There didn't appear to be much contact, and he's up on his feet again. And the Meath fans are giving him 0 points. points for artistic merit. Inside towards Darren Fay, taken away here instead by Paddy Reynolds. Out towards Donald Curtis. Back from Trevor Giles. Bounced a couple of times there, Curtis still with it. A poor ball after all of that, and Graham Geraghty had no real chance of holding it and turning it into an opportunity. Instead it's Kieran Whelan getting away from Trevor Giles' attempted challenge. McDermott is closing in. Still Whelan, support outside. Jim Gavin coming forward. Jason Sherlock's waiting inside. Steins approaching from midfield. Lots of big strong men in there, and in the end the player has gone down injured is John McDermott, and the referee saw a foul as Ian Robertson begins to shape up to Darren Fay there. And the referee insisting that peace is restored.
Very sportingly at the start, hopefully it'll continue like that. But Dublin have been tearing in much harder than they were in the first 10 minutes of the first half.
Brian Steins, and this time Brian Steins goes to ground, free taken quickly. Declan Darcy trying to get at the end of the street from Kieran Whelan. Challenged by Evan Kelly. Darcy, former Leitrim captain, very much a dub however. Jason Sherlock races after to Richie Keeley. It's Evan Kelly, chance to raise his head, but look, a whole group of Dublin players waiting for it there. Paul Croft, the one who got it. Now it's Keith Galvin. Good ball forward. Once again a bit of work for Dublin to do there. Ray Cosgrove trying to make headway. Now it's Kieran Whelan. Back it comes once again towards Ray Cosgrove. There's a loose man inside. That's Steins. Might have done a bit better than that. Ian Robertson trying to keep the ball in play, trying to bring some order to the situation. But that booming ball there from Brian Steins gave the inside man absolutely no chance. Donald Curtis protesting. Well, the linesman was never too far away from all of that and saw a foul, and it's going to be a free which will be taken here by Darren Fay. That's fumbled by Nigel Crawford, taken back by Kieran Whelan. Now Declan Darcy beating Hank Traynor, and the ball again rather aimlessly sent forward. So a couple of possible Dublin attacks there in the last 3 minutes, coming to absolutely zilch.
Forward line in that case there, they've all retreated into very much a defensive mode. It meant that when the backs got the ball, they were kicking it long, but out only to unmarked Dublin half-backs.
Wonderful sound level here. Great atmosphere created by 56,315 at Croke Park. Watching Kieran Whelan, wonderfully athletic player, inside towards Steins, trying to transfer the ball outside to a player coming through in support who was Ray Cosgrove, and it all breaks down. Evan Kelly picking out Trevor Giles, lots of support. Paddy Reynolds takes it in his stride, fouled then by Keith Galvin. Free taken very quickly, and Peter Andrews, to his credit, did really well to deny Evan Kelly a possible chance for me, but here's another one. Ollie Murphy. Kelly having to work hard to try and get this one. And up hard, running on a very warm day. Ollie Murphy coming through, kicking and scoring. 3 points for Ollie Murphy. Easily the most impressive attacker on view this afternoon with his devastating style. He's decisive, and he's made it 7 points to 5.
Him has picked up a lot too. It was very Peter Andrews is getting caught the wrong side of Ollie Murphy all the time. Poor defensive play. Ollie Murphy could have had a goal earlier. It's amazing that Dublin haven't switched Andrews off Murphy at this stage.
About 10 players jumping for this one ball. Taken down by Nigel Crawford. He was jersey pulled, so it's going to be a free to Meath. Trevor Giles looking around, seeing some very good running once again by Hank Traynor. Towards Graham Geraghty. Bringing Paddy Christie out of position. Leaving gaps inside which might be exploited. Evan Kelly wanted it short. Still Graham Geraghty, now more back as a midfielder. There's a Meath player down on the ground. It's Evan Kelly, by the way. He's making his way up once again. May have slipped on a banana skin, somehow doubt it. It's in quickly here, and there's a chance, and it's over the bar. Very good work indeed by the midfielder who likes to steal forward. And Hank Traynor, who's almost as a third midfielder, has made it 8 points to 5, his first of the day.
Trevor Giles in control quickly of all the frees around the middle of the field for Meath and finding loot all over the place. Declan Darcy drifting back fence for Dublin to pick up his own man there, and Hank Traynor penalises him.
Lots of jumping in the air by Dublin midfielders, but it's Meath who take it forward. Donald Curtis, Sean McDermott, and he goes for the goal. Might have had a point there. Graham Geraghty's in after him quickly, but there was a chance there for McDermott. Padder Andrews trying to get it away from Ollie Murphy. He's fouled, free to Dublin. It's taken very quickly, and the referee, I think, didn't see a Meath player retreating quickly enough, so he penalises them 13 players, 13 metres. There was a foot put in as well. Again, pressure here on the Meath half-back line. Hank Traynor back there now at left half-back, doing a good job. Evan Kelly. Players running to the right, to the left. Here's McDermott. Taking it away from Jim Gavin. Ollie Murphy. Again, he's causing major problems for Padder Andrews. Touched away in the end, and that's going to be a Meath ball. Paddy Moran, the one who touched it last. Richie Keeley. Setting up Nigel Nestor, missed one earlier on in this half, but this time he's put it to the left. He's had a few chances. I think that's about 3 kicks at the target. He scored in the first half. And Sean Boylan will, as usual, be pacing up and down the sideline and never take anything for granted in a Dublin-Meath match. This was a goal opportunity a little while ago, and there might have been a point for John McDermott, and Davy Byrne did well. Kieran Whelan leaping in the air. It's a great catch. Beautiful ball to free up Paul Croft. Did well to take it. Oof. Enda Sheehy holds on here. Dublin looking for scores. Stopped by Donald Curtis. 12 minutes into the second half. Sheehy is fouled by John McDermott. Jim Gavin making himself available to take the free. Towards Jason Sherlock. Got a touchdown on that. That's Cormac Murphy coming across, former centre-half back, of course. Paddy Reynolds has left it there. Brian Steins for Dublin. A partial block on that. Hank Traynor gets it back. Bodies flying in there just to try and make sure. And there was the body of Darren Fay touching that ball on the ground. There is going to be a free in for Dublin, and Declan Darcy will be the one who will take it. Let's go across to the sideline once again to Micheál O'Donnell. We'll get that information for you a little bit later on. Darcy, and that is kicked in nicely, and Declan Darcy has kicked his 3rd point. And I think the information that we might be about to get involves a possible Dublin substitution. It's 8 points to 6, and Darcy has got 3 of those. Well, that's Darren Holman who's just come into the action. A man who is usually brought in when Dublin are ever struggling. Darren from Ballybowden St Enda's, and the player going off, it appears, is Ray Cosgrove.
Yes, and Dublin in trouble up front, and they shove Brian Steins now up the centre forward with Darren Holman as usual.
That's Darren Holman breaking it down to a Meath man, to John McDermott. towards Graham Geraghty, trying to turn Paddy Christie, laying it back to Nigel Nestor, thought about the kick with the left boot, back to Trevor Giles, that's looking nice, it's gone over the bar. What a wonderful talent this player is. Incurred a horrific knee injury in last year's Leinster final, lost to Kildare, but he's back with aplomb. His first from play, his third in all, and it's 9 points for Meath, 6 for Dublin. Again, Nigel Nestor waited for somebody who was coming through. That was Trevor Giles, a very assured kicker. And there's a foot injury here to Declan Darcy. Declan from the St. Bridget's club. So Dublin momentarily down to 14. They've got a free as well. Paul Croft wants to take it. Johnny McGee getting out of his way. Brian Steins now up at centre half forward, or on the 40. Beating the challenge of Richie Keeley, laying it short, however. O'Sullivan now with a chance to start another Meath attack through Hank Traynor. Back it comes towards him, couldn't hold on to it. Jason Sherlock instead. Now, Kieran Whelan going for the big one himself. He booms it between the post and over the bar. A real rallying score that by Kieran Whelan. Just his first point today, but a crucial one. Midway through this second half, it's 9 points to 7. It's now Kieran Whelan and Darren Homan at midfield, and this was Whelan, and that was that shot way up into the air. And now we can indeed go across to get some news of possible injuries and so on from Micheál O'Donnell.
The blister on the bottom of his right foot. The pitch, of course, is exceptionally hard today after the dry spell.
Well, yes, it is an extremely hard pitch. It must be so difficult for all of the players to maintain the maximum effort for the 70 minutes. But a very spirited contest. It'll be a throw between Enda Sheehy and John McDermott. This quick kick inside towards Croft. Paul Croft! Ooh. In the end, it's the goalkeeper's ball because Ian Robertson couldn't turn it in, but the real chance was with Paul Croft. There's another Dublin player down injured while play continues here. That ball seemed to be touched on the ground there by Padder Andrews, but he gets away with it. And the referee this time penalising Dublin for a foul throw. Meanwhile, it's Brian Steins as the player down in considerable distress. The referee hasn't spotted it. And as play continues, it's Richie Keeley inside here towards Nigel Nestor, and he tries to hand pass it over the bar, off the post, down to Johnny McGee. Oh, it's all happening in this match. This is Darren Homan. Taken forward here by Enda Sheehy. Dublin's last victory in Leinster back in 95, Meath in 96. We're watching Jim Gavin go forward. Trying to turn it onto the left boot and hitting it well, and a beautiful strike. Jim Gavin has got his 4th point of the match. How they appreciate his efforts. 2 from frees, 2 from play. And that is a very fine individual piece of work by Jim Gavin. And there's only a point between the teams thanks to this wonderful piece of brilliance. Great kick, yes, wonderful point.
Jim Gavin is the one Dublin forward who's demanding the ball. He's willing to take on the game and he's not afraid of
That's John McDermott trying to take it down, expecting Paddy Reynolds to come through. He's fouled. Free to Meath. Well, every possible possession will be so important at this stage. It'll be Trevor Giles who will kick this. Darren Homan makes his way back. Trevor Giles about to hit it, and that's gone over the bar from a huge distance out. Trevor Giles with his 4th point. He was a good 50, maybe even 55 metres out that time. So 2 between them once more.
Well, the level of judgment which had suffered as a result brilliant best at the moment.
Fisted down by Nigel Crawford, but Dublin come through with it, and it's Kieran Whelan who is fouled. Up towards Ian Robertson, and here's Nigel Nestor. Nestor down towards Graham Geraghty, and Paddy Christie reading the situation very intelligently. Wonderful play by the fullback, and Enda Sheehan has left. Paddy Reynolds behind him. Reynolds getting back now, goal side. A little chip by Enda Sheehan. It's still there for the taking. Darren Fay breaks it down to the waiting Mark O'Reilly. Tremendous football. Out to Evan Kelly. Anybody's match. A huge one down to the two-man inside forward line. Murphy and Keeley. And in the end, it's kicked by Ollie Murphy. And the big cheers are from everybody up on Hill 16. That's 10 wides now for Meath, 4 for Dublin. Davy Byrne about to hit this one. It's his second final of the year, of course, for Tommy Carr's team. They've already lost the league final down at Páirc Uí Chaoimh. First match we brought you in the live Sunday game series. Evan Kelly trying to keep that ball. Kieran Whelan saying, come on, up you get. And Tommy Carr not one bit pleased, having words with the referee. It's possession for Trevor Giles. Dropped right in there towards Graham Geraghty, and Graham just about holding on. Back towards Nigel Nestor. Nestor against 3 Dublin players, back to Murphy, and he's got another point, and that's a 4th now for Ollie Murphy. Well, if it's Jim Gavin for Dublin, it's Ollie Murphy for Meath, trying to turn the game in his team's direction. He's made it 11 points to 8. Inside the final quarter of an hour of the match. A couple of goal opportunities, but all points so far, 19 shared by these teams. Paddy Reynolds lobbed ahead towards Ollie Murphy again, and this time Peadar Andrews does well to flick it away from him. But it's a huge task facing Peadar Andrews this afternoon, has been since the start of the game. Lots of movement, but they wait for Trevor Giles to strike this one from the sideline. Everybody going up for it, Paddy Christie touching it down, and it's Peadar Andrews who kicks it away from danger. Nigel Crawford, fine catch that time. We've seen good fielding from Nigel Crawford and from Kieran Whelan in this second half. Referee wants the free kick taken again. So once more it's entrusted to Nigel Crawford. Well, as we speak, he gives the ball to Giles. Well, he's landed a huge one already from roughly the same distance from goal. He's going for it again, but it's going left. Well, mention of huge successful frees and so on. Don't forget that hurling fan Sean Boylan will be able to enjoy the Guinness quarter-final replay tomorrow. It's live here on this channel, starting at 3 o'clock. Not to be missed, Clare against Galway. We've already had one live match today, Armagh defeating Down in the Ulster football final, and now about 12 minutes remaining here in Leinster. Ollie Murphy once again, taking on Andrews, getting it onto the right boot. He's really in form. He is absolutely tormenting Dublin, and it's just a miracle at this stage that they haven't made a switch. He's got 5, they've got 12, Dublin got 8.
Yes, it's quite amazing when you consider that Paddy Moran is there, a very experienced cornerback, and Dublin are allowing Peadar Andrews to be absolutely humiliated by Ollie Murphy.
This is Kieran Whelan. Whelan taking it away from Crawford. up towards Ian Robertson, and the referee says no, free kick. Darren Fay and Robertson both went to ground. 2 against 1. And the one gets away with it here. Trevor Giles inside towards Ollie Murphy, inside Peter Andrews. Here's Murphy, and it's a goal! Minutes into the second half, and Ollie Murphy got in behind Peter Andrews once again, and this time his finish was absolutely emphatic, taking it in his stride. It's a beautiful goal by Murphy. Byrne had no chance. It was wonderful running and a simply superb goal. Very much the man of the moment, Ollie Murphy from Carnaross. 112 for Meath, 8 points for Dublin. So now, is there a Dublin response?
Well, again, it was the pass across field by Giles, put the ball in across the man. Brilliant kick off his left foot, but Murphy, a really spectacular goal. But again, we can't say it often enough, it's amazing that Dublin have allowed the situation to continue then.
Declan Darcy with the free, and he's content to put it over the bar to close the gap, if just a little, and still with 10 minutes to play.
As we speak now, Paddy Christie has taken Ollie Murphy, but I'm afraid the damage has been done.
Well, that's a splendid scene here on this, the first day of August, the month we traditionally associate with semi-final month in football. And we're starting the month with the Leinster final. That's John McDermott. Got there ahead of Kieran Whelan, just got a little nudge, and it results in a free to Meath. Peter Andrews, by the way, is now playing in front of his goal, and he is marking Graham Geraghty. And Ollie Murphy, as Colm said, been picked up by Paddy Christie. Here they are. This time it bounces back off the legs of Keith Galvin, and it's all going very sweetly for Meath. Meath with 18 wins in the Leinster Championship so far before today, Dublin with 43. A booming one inside towards Richie Keeley. Dublin have men there in numbers, but it's Graham Geraghty who gets it. Rises beautifully, and that's a very, very good kick. A second point for Graham Geraghty. There must have been at least 4 Dublin players challenging for that ball coming down from the air, and Geraghty got up there. Really impressive work. More than, there's about 5 of them there, and he beat them all.
Yes, Geraghty has an amazing ability to kick off the ground, and not only that, but regain his feet very quickly when he had lost balance and kick a brilliant point.
Well, Meath will have had wonderful incentive going into this match, which is now 113 to 9 points. They didn't want to lose 3 in a row. And then, of course, there was the matter of beating Dublin. So far, it's looking good for them. Geraghty once again. And Peter Andrews and Jonathan McGee there. Between them, they foul. And I noticed that Dublin are bringing in Peter Ward. Peter from the Kilmacud Crokes team has just given the little slip of paper, and Enda Sheehy from St. Jude's, no miracles today, has gone off. Trevor Giles about to hit this free for Meath. The noise you're hearing in the main is from the Meath fans, and it will get even louder now. Trevor Giles saying to his colleague there, no messing, pushing Cormac Murphy out of the way, and Giles has got 5 points. Paddy Christie setting up Johnny McGee. Dublin need goals. Brian Stein's after this. They're all after it, and they all collide. And Brian Stein's has certainly come off worst. Confirmation of the change, that late swap by Dublin, as it were. But Brian Stein's really feeling the effects of the knock, because Ian Robertson was coming across, Darren Fay was there as well. It was absolutely accidental. it was that classic situation where the high ball comes from midfield, and two players in their determination from the same team, fortunately, or unfortunately rather, have a clash of heads. Bryant's back on his feet again. Darcy will take the free. And he has managed to put it over the bar. 5 points now for Declan Darcy. And certainly Brian Steins does not look anything near 100%. His left ankle is causing him some bother.
Well, it's been a Giles Murphy show for Meath. Dublin haven't got any two forwards who can compare with them. That's the way the game has gone. Meath are able to score from Blay. Dublin rely on frees.
And the loss of Desi Farrell was a very considerable one, as we watch Peter Ward here get a first free kick since coming on. Paddy Moran knocking it ahead down towards Brian Steins, challenging Donald Curtis there. Played back in the general direction of Paul Croft. It's lost. Steins has it back. Croft once more going down, and it'll be a free on the 13-metre line. Referee McCurley has kept a nice tight rein on the game, but still allowed plenty of flow, and I think he's done a very good job this afternoon. Well, Jim Gavin, 2 out of 2 from frees. 4 points in all, the other 2 coming from play. Will he be happy just to tap this one over? There would then be 6 points between the teams, and he has managed it. So that's 5 points for the day for Jim Gavin.
Well, a goal for Dublin will still make it interesting, but Meath will play with a mass defence for the last 5 minutes, I'm sure, and leave only 2 or 3 players up front.
Well, it's a time for Meath to consolidate what they've got. They'll be mindful of certain hurling matches where one team is 9 points ahead and still only draws. Here's Declan Darcy. Nigel Nestor trying to make it awkward for him. Paddy Moran, experienced player Paddy Moran. Down towards Jason Sherlock. One man you really would expect an awful lot from. Not all of the ball came between himself and Mark O'Reilly. He had one goal chance right at the very beginning of the match, and Cormac O'Sullivan did well. This is Kieran Whelan dropping this one in, and Cormac O'Sullivan once again there to keep it away, and it's going to be a 45.
Well, Ger, I think whatever criticisms there are of Gio, I think we should say that today he has been making a lot of the runs. He has tried very hard. Maybe things haven't gone that well for him, but he certainly has put in a very big effort.
Absolutely. Declan Darcy now. Again, they try to eat into the lead, and Ian Robertson unable to contain it. Hasn't been his day. Failed to score. 3 minutes left. Well, this goalkeeper has been most impressive, really grabbed his chance this year. In fact, yet to concede a goal in Championship football. That's watched there vigilantly by Richie Keeley. Paddy Reynolds, dispossessed by Peter Ward. Dublin need a goal. Brian Steins trying to go by Darren Fay. Still Steins trying to burrow his way through. No way forward. Declan Darcy waiting for the pass to come his way. Back towards Jim Gavin. Ward once again trying to wriggle his way free. And that is near to the right-hand post. Comes down off the post, but significantly it's gone outside. Well, it was a fast little move that time by the substitute, Peter Ward, trying to free up Brian Steins, but good work by the Meath defence. They effectively forced him into a cul-de-sac. Not a great kick-out. Ward again getting out there ahead of his man, who is Paddy Reynolds. Donald Curtis trying to stop his progress, and this time it's Mark O'Reilly. Good corner back play. Picking out Nigel Nestor. John McDermott, after a traumatic week for him personally. Trevor Giles, wonderful football. Evan Kelly, players inside calling for it. Murphy and Geraghty. And Kelly says, I think I'll fancy my chance here myself, but might have been better to play it inside. But Meath have a very sizable lead, and just about 2 minutes or a little longer to play.
Well, all the worst fears that Dublin must have had about their forward line has been shown to be true. Very little inventiveness or speed or anything in that forward line today. Meath much more adept at taking scores from play.
Well, Tommy Carr then will be entering his 3rd season, and Sean Boylan, of course, has seen it all down the years. He's done it all. He's produced so many good teams. And right now, with just seconds to go, it looks like we know the 4 championship winners in the 4 football provinces, and also the identity of the semi-final pairings later this month. In spite of that, Dublin got themselves a late free. Some good work again here by Jason Sherlock. Jason's fast breaks resulting in a free kick, and there are players available inside, but the referee says back once again to the spot because he is busy writing names, and he has given a yellow card to Mark O'Reilly. So by my calculations, 3 yellow cards. Well, Declan Darcy about to line up this free. 5 from 7 in frees. And this one has just got inside the left-hand post. Just about raises a cheer from disappointed Dublin fans who have seen their side lose this final, it seems. It's 114 to 12 points, and we are in injury time. Stony silence up on Hill 16. And the referee says, give me the ball because it's all over. And Meath are indeed the Leinster champions for the 19th time. They've had a most convincing win against Dublin. It may have been tight in the first half, but players like Donald Curtis went back into the half-back line to tie matters up when Enda McManus went off injured. Sean Boylan is a very, very happy manager. The subs come on as well to share in this moment of joy. Barry Callahan there, one of them. But Ollie Murphy with a goal and 5 points. The goal after 24 minutes. What a star. And also Trevor Giles. His placing of that ball was immaculate. They were strong in defence. And by comparison, Dublin simply weren't able to produce the goods on this particular day. And Tommy Dowd there with Dennis Smith coming in to share this glory moment as well, because glory moment it is for Meath. It's going to be Meath against Armagh in the All-Ireland football semi-final. John McDermott there is getting a pat on the back from the backroom team and the county board officials. But it's been a terrific Meath victory here. And so disappointment is Dublin's lot, but the full-time score for the record is Meath, the winners, by 114 to 12 points. And let's go down now and have a chat with the victorious manager, Sean Boylan, talking to Micheál O'Donnell.
Well, I'm here with a very happy Sean Boylan and family. Sean, another Leinster title, I'm sure, as sweet as any other.
You know, every time you go out and play a Leinster final, it's a huge occasion. And last year, Kildare was victorious, they were a great team. Offaly the year before, and you know, it was our turn this year. And you know, there was very little really between the two of us. And on the day, we're just delighted to have won it.
Now, as you did in the match against Wicklow, in the match against Offaly, you pulled away in the last 15 minutes. I mean, there's huge strength of character in this Meath team.
Well, there is, and you know, I think there was a lot done for Enda McDermott, John's mother today, and for Tommy, and a lot of proud lads have given an awful lot to the county, and there's a lot of strength of character, but so is there in Dublin. They never stop trying, and we just got the breaks in the day, and that's what it's about.
Now, you mentioned Tommy Dowd there. People were saying he was going to be a huge loss. In the end, he wasn't, because the likes of Ollie Murphy with a personal total of 1-5, a great achievement.
Yeah, if Ollie keeps on, he could make it. Nice to be on, okay.
Okay, fair play to you, Sean.
Yes, is there a more modest manager about? Modest in the sense that he never whistles his own particular headline. He is just the kind of man who will let the others do the talking for him, and Meath always do that with their thrilling football. So Sean Boylan has masterminded another Leinster victory, and He's produced so many teams, you know him so well, of course, Colm, but it's very much his day, and young fans are here to share in it as well.
Yes, that's Graham Geraghty's wife and child. I'm sure they'll be very happy with the win anyway. Great day for Graham Geraghty to lead Meath to a Leinster title.
Well, in a change with tradition this year, of course, and there's been much publicity about it, the fans are not going onto the field at the end of the game because of various risks. So they're operating this policy and the fans have obeyed it, and now it's time for the presentation.
I was a bit worried about this policy. I thought if Meath won we might have incidents, but I'm glad to see that everybody has stayed off the pitch. It's not something a lot of people might like, but maybe it's the right thing.
Well, Noel McCaffrey there, the Dublin medical officer, former star player as well. Disappointed, I'm sure. Well, Seamus Aldridge, the chairman of the Leinster Council, making the address. Graham Geraghty, the Meath captain, takes the trophy, and Meath are champions in Leinster.
Proud day for Graham Geraghty, great day for Meath football. Now we know the 4 semi-finalists in the All-Ireland. Paul Early, in the second half, there wasn't any doubt about it. Dublin did try as hard as they possibly could, but this Meath team was just simply better than them.
Absolutely, they were, and I think we had in Ulster earlier on today, we had the Marsden-McConville show, and today we had the Giles and Murphy show, and really, you know, at the end of in the next game, we'll be looking for who are the next new terrible twins, if you like, to emerge, whether it's going to be the Armagh pairing or the Meath pairing. But superb performance from Meath in the second half. You know, in reality, they could have probably won by a few more points had they taken all of their chances, but they were dominant in the middle of the field right throughout the game, although Kieran Whelan worked very, very hard in the second half for Dublin. But in reality, at the end of the day, you know, Dublin's lack of forward penetration really proved costly to them. They only scored 3 points from play in the whole of the game. That's not good enough to win a Leinster title. Whereas Meath, on the other hand, had players who had the ability to kick points at will. And Ollie Murphy, obviously, and Trevor Giles, who's the orchestrator of that attack. And his passing was terrific, and Ollie Murphy's finishing was clinical, and an excellent performance for Meath, and well done to them.
OK, well, Ollie Murphy, as Paul mentioned there, Martin Carney, I mean, he'd be waking up in the middle of the night saying, was that really me out there? He's done it again in Croke Park.
He's done it again, Michael. He did it last year against Kildare, but I've seen him do it, as I said, at half-time earlier this year. But I think this, as far as I can remember, is one of the points that he's scored. But he's beautiful balance on either foot. And again, just slides that ball inside the left-hand post. I think that was his 4th or 5th point, but at that stage there should have been a change made. But this pass here, to me, is just, it's sublime. The way it takes the corner back out of the game. And he's running across the goals, running away from
Meath, who managed to take possession there in the figure of John McDermott. Trevor Giles. Hank Traynor trying to build here for Meath. John McDermott giving it back there to the man coming through, is Paddy Reynolds. Nigel Nestor looking for support, trying to set up a scoring opportunity. Hank Traynor. A lot of possession by Meath players, not exactly going anywhere so far, and in the end a foul is committed, and And Paddy Reynolds here, the man who finally had that ball, working a free in for Meath. And I've got Colm O'Rourke here with me this afternoon. And Colm, of course, it's a Meath team without Tommy Dowd, but also John McDermott. He's had a very traumatic week, an awful week really in his life. His mother died and she was buried, I think, on Thursday. So you wonder what kind of frame of mind he is. A very brave fellow, though, to come out and play.
Yes, very much so. Great chance for me to get off the mark at the start. That's a bad miss by Trevor Giles. The one thing that strikes me about this game, the heat is going to play a big role in it. John McDermott hasn't had any training. I don't know how he'd hold up. Paul Carnaross has gone for Dublin. Tommy Dowd for Meath. The Dublin backline have chosen their men. Paddy Moran is out playing at wing half-back. They obviously have decided they're going to stick on the Meath forwards. They've been picked on irrespective of where the Meath men play. Donald Curtis gone to corner forward for Meath. He won't stay there.
Well, he's played everywhere else. Corner back, wing back, as Enda Sheehy tries to set Dublin away. Declan Darcy fed through, intended to link up with Brian Steins, taken instead back here to Trevor Giles, playing without any sleeves on the shirt, almost Australian rules type of outfit. This is Paddy Andrews, or Patter Andrews, getting it down here towards Desi Farrell. The shoulder coming in from Giles. Oof. Almost an impossible one for Johnny McGee to take, did really well. Gets it down well towards Jim Gavin. Enda Sheehy once again. Might play as the third midfielder. J.O. is isolated in front of goal there. John McDermott coming back in to take it. Mark O'Reilly back towards Paddy Reynolds once again, but for a moment there, it was interesting that Jason Sherlock was isolated one-on-one alongside Mark O'Reilly. At the other end, it's Patter Andrews breaking it away. Ollie Murphy. Murphy putting the head down. Andrews trying to deny him space. Nigel Nestor is available, so too is Trevor Giles. And in the end, they managed to get a free for a jersey tug. A free on the 20-metre line. So here's the chance. One missed already, but the second kick is put to the right. Strange kind of start by Trevor Giles. Kieran Whelan from Raheny comes to gather, gets it away from Trevor Giles. Enda Sheehy there against Paddy Reynolds. Bounces away towards him again. Tackles coming in. Cormac Murphy was the one fouling. Sheehy belting it in towards that danger zone. Ooh. It's freed inside towards Jason Sherlock. Great save! O'Sullivan does really well against Sherlock. And the referee has spotted a foul, and it's going to be a free out for Meath. But there was a real chance for Jason Sherlock. He was one-on-one against Cormac O'Sullivan, the St. Patrick's man, as he was played inside there beautifully. Ian Robertson set up the chance. Good save. Paul Croft coming onto it. Stopped, however, by Donald Curtis. Sheehy, challenged late, still hitting it in there towards Jason Sherlock. And everybody's standing around waiting, expecting something. And the referee, they were expecting a free. Nothing came of it. The referee says, I didn't blow, play on. And it was Declan Darcy who was going through. Well, that was amazing, because the players froze and looked at the referee, expecting a 13-metre free. None came. There is one now, however.
Yes, I think we have the worst thing possible at a football match, somebody with a whistle in the crowd. Because it did appear as if a whistle went, everybody stopped. Big advantage to Dublin now.
And it's a chance for Jim Gavin to tap over his first point of the match. Jim from Round Towers, the Air Corps pilot, with the first point of the game, and that after 7 minutes. Once again, Trevor Giles. Into space towards Graham Geraghty. We haven't seen him in the action so far against Paddy Christie. Geraghty transformed from the half-back line, kicking and putting it over the bar. Very good work by the Meath captain. Very much an individual piece of work there on the part of Graham Geraghty. So 1-1. Good approach here.
Yes, and what we'll have in the Meath full forward line again is that the forwards will switch positions and run cross field, and the balls coming in will be kicked at angles. They won't be just kicked straight up and down the pitch. In that case, the first time Gertie gets his hands on a very good score.
Again, it's Donald Curtis trying to set the Meath forward line going. Terma Giles in towards Ollie Murphy. Support close to him there. Murphy kicking a beauty. 2 in a row for Meath. Ollie Murphy, his first point of the Leinster final, and he's made it 2 points to 1. Well, he's quite an experienced inter-county player at this stage. It's his 15th championship match. He'd won 3 against Offaly, and here he gets his first for the day. Fisted down there by Nigel Crawford. And Trevor Giles is picking up an awful lot of broken ball. This is John McDermott, the Irish captain against Australia last October. Beautiful ball played inside here. And Kelly's in and he's won. Should have been. Murphy has the second chance and he's put it wide. It was a 1-to-1 situation with Davy Byrne, but credit the Dublin goalkeeper here for a very smart piece of keeping. It was beautifully played there. Evan Kelly had the opportunity to stick that ball away, and Murphy with the follow-up attempt. Keith Galvin. Nicely down for Desi Farrell. Players having to work really, really hard to get decent possession, as you'd expect in a Bank of Ireland Leinster football final. That's Enda Sheehy here, but Desi Farrell is limping quite badly. He's gone on the ground right now and will need attention. Desi has become a very influential member of this Dublin attack. Absolutely, and he'd be a huge loss to him because along with Paul Cornish, they're the 2 most experienced players. Meath have a free, but I've just seen Dr. Noel McCaffrey give a signal to the bench, waving his hands, that Desi has little chance of continuing in this match. He's still there, but definitely the indication from the doctor was that a replacement will be required. That'll be a big loss. He can barely walk at this stage, but he's still on the field. Dublin mounting an attack. Paul Croft. Here's Kieran Whelan. Big kick from Kieran Whelan, stopped once again by Cormac O'Sullivan. It comes out to John McDermott. Desi Farrell is limping and trying to get in with a tackle. He was the nearest man that time to McDermott. Here's Ollie Murphy. Powder Andrews is close to him. Stein's not too far away. An ambitious one in towards Graham Geraghty. Davy Byrne comes judiciously fisted away, but only as far as Trevor Giles. High up into the air. Lots of Dublin players there. 2 from Meath, and one of them managed to get the fist to it, and that was Ollie Murphy. So let's head down to the sideline and get some up-to-date information from our reporter down there this afternoon, who is Micheál O'Donnell.
Yes, Ger, as you may be able to see, Desi Farrell is on his way off the field. In his place, Ray Cosgrove, the man who was down as another on the programme, number 24.
So Ray Cosgrove from Kilmacud Crokes comes into the match.
Ray Cosgrove has been on off the team for the league campaign, but he's a real top of the ground player. Has a lot of pace and should be suited by the ground conditions that we have at the moment.
Well, it's sad to think that Desi Farrell's involvement only lasted about 15 minutes, and Denda McManus now in need of a little bit of attention. Ironically, they were marking one another. And he seems like he's going across, and Sean Boylan is consulting with him. So I just wonder whether McManus will be able to play on. Evan Kelly. Giles. Again, it's some very good work here by Keeley. Back to Ollie Murphy. Meath looking to increase their lead. That's a fine kick. Many people have compared his style, of course, to Tommy Dowd. Puts the head down, he's direct, he's brave, and he's decisive. And he's now got a second point, and it's now 3 points to 1. Tom Carr, second season in charge. Big occasion for Tommy Carr. Richie Keeley fed that one beautifully. Tried to get by Padder Andrews, went right, then in left, and a smashing finish. Free taken quickly there by Paul Croft, back after a lengthy suspension. And that's Jim Gavin, and Gavin has put it over the bar. He's got all of Dublin's points. 2 from frees, that 1 from play now, and there's just a point between the teams. Anybody's match. McDermott teasing Enda Sheehan. Trevor Giles, the hand pass inside, intended for Nigel Nestor, won back by Johnny McGee. Hank Traynor, good positional work here by Traynor. Nestor being given a bit too much room by Johnny McGee, and he curls it beautifully. Nigel Nestor with his first point of the match, but the marking was too slack. McGee was a good 2 yards off him, and that was critical, because Meath have now made it 6 points to 3. Davy Byrne, Brian Steins and John McDermott against some broken ball. Nigel Crawford coming in here, willingly taking it forward. Nigel Nestor ran a good 10 yards. Referee says, come on, back you go here. Giles, again. Ollie Murphy here against Andrews. He seems to have the better of his meeting with Andrews so far, but this time it comes off the upright. But it is very noticeable that Meath very cleverly are trying to isolate Ollie Murphy in front of goal against Andrews, and that time he went so close.
Yes, and the other thing about it, every time Giles gets the ball, there's quite a lot of times in the middle of the field, he's looking for Murphy almost every time. So if Dublin were able to clamp down on Giles, it would cut out the ball to Murphy.
So into injury time. Paul Croft coming right across the half-back line to find Brian Steins. Back to Croft once more. Not a good ball. Reynolds seizing it, and the referee just about playing 55 seconds or thereabout of injury time. And at half-time it's Meath who are...
The cheek of the little cock. I felt like slapping her face. Oh, I wouldn't she have loved that, stooping to her level. Alma, just remember, you have got one thing that she will never have. Class. All right? Mind you, if you'd said, I'd have slapped her face for you.
You wouldn't let a little personal discomfort get in the way of a unique experience, would you?
You're not still thinking about getting your nipples pierced, are you?
No, no. I'm talking about the eclipse. I mean, I've got a tent, a big one, enough room for 2 more. I've even got the site booked, everything.
What, and you want me to come with you?
Well...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, great.
Well, actually, the person I was thinking of is a lot better looking than you.
Oh, right.
Seeing as though she's not up for it, well, yeah, why not? Go on, then.
You sure? I mean, I wouldn't be cramping your style.
I wish.
Oh, brilliant. Same again?
Yeah. And if you snore, you're a dead man.
Lovely. Could do be brightening up a bit, though, still. I suppose that was her. Mike likes things brighter and fresher.
Are you sure he won't come back?
No, not for ages yet. Anyway, what if he does? I didn't nick the key, you know.
So, how often do you stay here, then?
Oh, all time, nearly. Only pop back to mine now and again. Mike needs the rest, bless him.
Well, has he asked you to move in, then, now that everybody knows?
Well, he'd like me to, obviously, but I like being mates with you lot.
Well, being mates didn't count for much when you were seeing him in secret.
Don't get mardy on me. Mike made me promise. How could I tell you?
I wouldn't have told a soul.
Not even Kevin?
No. But... So it's serious?
Like I say, I'm not turning me back on my mates because of him. There ain't a bloke worth that anyway. Not even Mike.
Look, I better get going or Kevin will be wondering where I've got to.
Let him wonder. Have a drink.
No, thanks. It'd be awful if Baldwin came in.
I told you he won't be back for ages.
Right, well, see ya.
Yeah, of course.
Hi.
Hiya.
You all right?
Yeah, why shouldn't I be?
If you're wondering if she's been crying her eyes out over that money, she hasn't.
Good.
I have, though. If you can throw away £2,000, I must be paying you too much. You should have saved some, Leanne.
Oh, you don't understand.
Well, I do, actually. And if you had saved some, you could have backed a few outsiders at the races next week.
Oh, yeah, that trip. Do you fancy it? There's lots of people going.
Yeah, great.
Okay.
Can't go.
Why not?
My dad's name's down here. Someone's got to look after the shop. I'll tell you what, let's just put our names at the top.
Why?
Because then it looks like we were there first, and he's the one that's got to stay behind.
I'll pretend I didn't hear any of that.
People are going mad about it, aren't they?
Yeah, well, it's a big deal. I mean, the next time there's a solar eclipse in this country, I'll be pushing up the daisies and you'll be 108.
Don't talk like that.
And that's what it means. You know, the birds will think it's night and they'll all stop singing.
Let them notice that in Weatherfield.
They also reckon an evil despot will be born in the hours of darkness.
What do you think?
Me? I'm going for the gig. It'll be like Glastonbury. Massive. Just loads of people all wanting to experience, feel something dead special.
Wow. I wish I were going.
Yeah, well, it's important for you to open yourself up to new experiences.
Not much chance of that round here. Probably nobody will even notice. And nobody understands what it means like you.
Yeah, well, that's because I'm in touch with my earth, aren't I?
My mum would probably let me come, you know, if I told her about opening myself to new experiences.
Well, I wish you could be there, but it's not my shout. Well, it's Curly's tent, sort of. His car. Sorry.
Hey, Natalie, you'll do all right at the races if you stick with me.
Oh, yeah?
I worked at the course, remember? I've got plenty of inside info.
From the horse's mouth, you mean?
Wrong end. He was mucking out the stables.
Hey, I talked to people, I did. I've got a foolproof betting system.
Oh, so have I. You tell me what you're backing, I'll put my money on somewhere else.
All right, cheers.
Thank you.
I don't know what she's got against Gary. I suppose could ask next year, be my best man. He used to have some right laughs.
Don't think I know him.
We fell out when Ollie Murphy did my maths homework and I won't let him copy. It were wrong and all. We've never spoke since.
How old were you?
14.
So by now he could be a mass murderer.
I think I'd have read somewhat if he were.
It's supposed to be somebody close, Ashla.
Well, he's Boris from work.
You don't want Boris. You want Gary. Now, don't you back down on this. I say don't back down on this. It's your wedding every bit as much as it's hers. You decide who's going to be best man.
Fred's right, lovey. A woman needs a man to be strong and firm.
If you don't put your foot down now, that's it. She'll walk all over you for the rest of your life. You tell her it's your decision.
Yes. Tell her Fred says that you're to make up your own mind.
I don't know. She got dead soppy about it this morning.
Yes, well, she's overwrought. I mean, it's all part of the traditional wedding. Mind you, I'll tell you, I'll be as glad as you are when it's all over.
There you go.
Thank you. You know, I've been thinking. Big Cram was having a go at me this morning about not being daring enough.
Well, now's your chance to prove him wrong by coming to Cornwall with me and Spider.
Spider?
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's his kind of thing, isn't it?
Well, you didn't mention him before.
Well, he wasn't coming before.
Oh, well, I'm definitely out in that case. I mean, you know what he was like with me 2 months back. I mean, sharing a tent with him and a once-in-a-lifetime experience like the eclipse, it's bound to get the wrong idea.
Well, I could put him off.
No, don't be daft. Like you say, it's his kind of thing. And to be honest with you, if I've got to do something more daring, I'd rather go bungee jumping than sleep in a tent.
Pint and a white wine, please, Leanne. Surprised to see you here. Thought you might be busy, spending your ill-gotten gains.
Actually, it's already gone. At the casino last night, it was great.
You are?
Yeah, lost a lot. Blew every penny of your stinking $2 grand. You are joking. No.
Flaming hell, Leanne.
After all you put us through for that money.
Hey, what's this about $2 grand?
Are you sure you still want a white wine, Gail? Like you could do with a brandy to me.
I couldn't resist having a good nosy. But I was dead frightened Mr. Baldwin had come back.
Oh, why? If she's living with him, you can't expect her not to have friends round, can you?
But I don't think she is. There's not enough of her stuff there.
All right, little Sherlock Holmes, aren't you?
I feel really sorry for her.
Oh, sweetie.
Why?
I can't think of anyone else who'll have any sympathy for Linda Sykes, but you seem to look for the best in everyone, don't you?
Well, it's better than being the other way.
Yeah, well, I reckon she's going to need you soon enough.
What do you mean?
Well, bound to end in tears, isn't it? You know, I mean, she's a young, fit lass, and he's pushing 60.
I'm sure she knows exactly what she's doing, and if it does end up in tears, Baldwin will be the one who's crying.
I hope this isn't inconvenient, me coming here like this.
If you mean it's kenning, no. Drink?
Yeah, why not?
Not rushing back to Linda, then?
We don't live together, you know.
None of my business.
I need you back there, Deirdre, before the place falls apart.
Mike, there are plenty of people out there far more qualified than I am, if that's what you want.
No, I don't. I've had enough change in my life these last couple of months. The last thing I want is some outsider coming in and changing things.
Then give the job to Linda.
Look, she's a good kid, whatever you may think of her. But she couldn't run that office. I'll talk some sense into her. Now, come on, Deirdre, please.
Cheers. Oh, that's right.
I don't believe you blew £2 in one night.
Oh, it's not to do with you.
It flaming well is. Getting money out of them plats was my idea. Remember?
Pint, Gary.
Oh, yes, please. What's wrong now, Les? She only blows her divorce settlement in one night. 2,000 flipping pounds.
What I could do with £2.
You know, you'd have paid a solicitor hundreds for the advice I gave you. And what do I get out of it? Flaming nout.
Look, I didn't want the money. I just wanted my life back. Nobody calling the shots. Not Nick, not the Platts, and not you, all right?
Well, it's disgusting if you ask me. Turning your back on your family like that.
Yeah, well, there's been plenty of times when you should have spent money on your family instead of beer, so consider yourself paid back.
See? Told you should have listened to me.
I did listen. You gave me no option. Martin, I don't care what she did with the money. She could have spent it on clothes, holidays, or having her hair done. If you think I'm going to walk round in a hair shirt with you and that self-righteous look on your face, forget it.
Well, the ironing beckons.
Oh, leave the ironing, Curly. I'm going for a pizza.
A pizza?
Yeah, I've got chores to do as well, but I'm putting them off. I'm exploring my wild side.
No, going for a pizza is not exactly bungee jumping.
Well, I'm building up slowly, all right?
Hello. We're doing something crazy. Fancy coming?
How crazy?
We're putting off the washing and the ironing, and we're going for a pizza.
No, thanks. I don't think I'll bother.
All right, see you.
Hi.
Hiya. Where are we going then?
Can I buy you a pint, Gary?
No, that's a question that should be asked more often.
2 pints, please, Natalie.
Yeah.
Actually, there was a favour I wanted to ask.
Oh, yeah. No such thing as a free lunch, is there?
Well, we've been through some right times together, haven't we?
Yeah, I suppose we have. What with your Shannon and Zoe.
You know, when Shannon died, I never thought I had the right to be happy again. Not when something so unfair happened to baby.
Well, sometimes I look at my two. I think the same thing. But you can get over anything with time. You're happy now, aren't you, with Maxine?
Aye, dead happy.
So what's his favour, then?
Well, to be honest, I need a best man. Well, I wondered if you fancied it.
Yeah?
3 points for Ollie Murphy. Easily the most impressive attacker on view this afternoon with his devastating style. He's decisive and he's made it 7 points to 5.
Padder Andrews is getting caught the wrong side of Ollie Murphy all the time. Poor defensive play. Ollie Murphy could have had a goal earlier. It's amazing that Dublin haven't switched Andrews off Murphy at this stage.
Towards Graham Geraghty. Bringing Paddy Christie out of position. Leaving gaps inside which might be exploited. Evan Kelly wanted it short. Still Graham Geraghty. Now more back as a midfielder. There's a Meath player down on the ground. It's Evan Kelly, by the way. He's making his way up once again. May have slipped on a banana skin, somehow doubt it. It's in quickly here, and there's a chance, and it's over the bar. Very good work indeed by the midfielder who likes to steal forward. And Hank Traynor, who's almost as a third midfielder, has made it 8 points to 5, his first of the day. That's Darren Holman breaking it down to a Meath man, to John McDermott. towards Graham Geraghty. Trying to turn Paddy Christie, laying it back to Nigel Nestor. Thought about the kick with the left boot. Back to Trevor Giles. That's looking nice. It's gone over the bar. What a wonderful talent this player is. Incurred a horrific knee injury in last year's Leinster final, lost to Kildare, but he's back with aplomb. His first from play, his third in all, and it's 9 points for Meath, 6 for Dublin. Again, Nigel Nestor waited for somebody who was coming through. That was Trevor Giles, a very assured kicker. And there's a foot injury here to Declan Darcy. Declan from the St. Bridget's club. So Dublin momentarily down to 14. They've got a free as well. Paul Croft wants to take it. Johnny McGee getting out of his way. Brian Steins now up at centre half forward, or on the 40. Beating the challenge of Richie Keeley. Laying it short, however. O'Sullivan now with a chance to start another Meath attack through Hank Traynor. Back it comes towards him, couldn't hold on to it. Jason Sherlock instead. Now, Kieran Whelan going for the big one himself. He booms it between the posts and over the bar. A real rallying score that by Kieran Whelan. Just his first point today, but a crucial one. Midway through this second half, it's 9 points to 7. It's now Kieran Whelan and Darren Homan at midfield, and this was Whelan, and that was that shot way up into the air. Taken forward here by Enda Sheehy. Dublin's last victory in Leinster back in 95, Meath in 96. We're watching Jim Gavin go forward, trying to turn it onto the left boot and hitting it well, and a beautiful strike. Jim Gavin has got his 4th point of the match. How they appreciate his efforts. 2 from frees, 2 from play. And that is a very fine individual piece of work by Jim Gavin, and there's only a point between the teams thanks to this wonderful piece of brilliance. Great kick,
yes,
wonderful point.
Jim Gavin is the one Dublin forward who's demanding the ball. He's willing to take on the game, and he's not afraid of
That's John McDermott trying to take it down, expecting Paddy Reynolds to come through. He's fouled. Free to Meath. Well, every possible possession will be so important at this stage. It'll be Trevor Giles who will kick this. Darren Homan makes his way back. Trevor Giles about to hit it, and that's gone over the bar from a huge distance out. Trevor Giles with his 4th point. He was a good 50, maybe even 55 metres out that time. So 2 between them once more. And now, about 12 minutes remaining here in Leinster. Ollie Murphy once again. Taking on Andrews, getting it onto the right boot. He's really in form. He is absolutely tormenting Dublin, and it's just a miracle at this stage that they haven't made a switch. He's got 5, they've got 12, Dublin got 8.
Yes, it's quite amazing when you consider that Paddy Moran is there, a very experienced cornerback, and Dublin are allowing Peadar Andrews to be absolutely humiliated by Ollie Murphy.
This is Kieran Whelan. Whelan taking it away from Crawford. Up towards Ian Robertson, and the referee says no, free kick. Darren Fay and Robertson both went to ground. 2 against 1. And the one gets away with it here. Trevor Giles inside towards Ollie Murphy, inside Peadar Andrews. Here's Murphy, and it's a goal! Minutes into the second half, and Ollie Murphy got in behind Peadar Andrews once again, and this time his finish was absolutely emphatic. Taking it in his stride, it's a beautiful goal by Murphy. Byrne had no chance. It was wonderful running and a simply superb goal. Very much the man of the moment, Ollie Murphy from Carnaross. 112 for Meath, 8 points for Dublin. So now, is there a Dublin response?
Well, again, it was the pass across field by Giles, put the ball in across the man. Brilliant kick off his left foot, but Murphy, a really spectacular goal. But again, we can't say it often enough, it's amazing that Dublin have allowed the situation to continue then.
Declan Darcy with the free, and he's content to put it over the bar to close the gap, if just a little, and still with 10 minutes to play.
As we speak now, Paddy Christie has taken Ollie Murphy, but I'm afraid the damage has been done.
Well, that's a splendid scene here on this, the first day of August, the month we traditionally associate with semi-final month in football. But we're starting the month with the Leinster final. That's John McDermott. Got there ahead of Kieran Whelan, just got a little nudge, and it results in a free to Meath. Peadar Andrews, by the way, is now playing in front of his goal, and he is marking Graham Geraghty. And Ollie Murphy, as Colm said, been picked up by Paddy Christie. Here they are. This time it bounces back off the legs of Keith Galvin, and it's all going very sweetly for Meath. Meath with 18 wins in the Leinster Championship so far before today, Dublin with 43. A booming one inside towards Richie Keeley. Dublin have men there in numbers, but it's Graham Geraghty who gets it. Rises beautifully, and that's a very, very good kick. A second point for Graham Geraghty. There must have been at least 4 Dublin players challenging for that ball coming down from the air, and Geraghty got up there. Really impressive work. More than, there's about 5 of them there, and he beat them all. Ward again getting out there ahead of his man, who is Paddy Reynolds. Donald Curtis trying to stop his progress, and this time it's Mark O'Reilly. Good corner-back play, picking out Nigel Nestor. John McDermott, after a traumatic week for him personally. Trevor Giles, wonderful football. Evan Kelly, players inside calling for it. Murphy and Geraghty. And Kelly says, I think I'll fancy my chance here myself, but might have been better to play it inside. But Meath have a very sizable lead, and just about 2 minutes or a little under to play.
Well, all the worst fears that Dublin must have had about their forward line has been shown to be true. Very little inventiveness or speed or anything in that forward line today. Meath much more adept at taking scores from play.
Well, Tommy Carr then will be entering his 3rd season, and Sean Boylan, of course, has seen it all down the years. He's done it all. He's produced so many good teams. And right now, with just seconds to go, it looks like we know the 4 championship winners in the 4 football provinces, and also the identity of the semi-final pairings later this month. In spite of that, Dublin get themselves a late free. Some good work again here by Jason Sherlock. Jason's fast breaks resulting in a free kick, and there are players available inside, but the referee says back once again to the spot because he is busy writing names, and he has given a yellow card to Mark O'Reilly. So by my calculations, 3 yellow cards. Well, Declan Darcy about to line up this free. 5 from 7 in frees, and this one has just got inside the left-hand post. Just about raises a cheer from disappointed Dublin fans who have seen their side lose this final, it seems. It's 114 to 12 points, and we are in injury time. Stony silence up on Hill 16. And the referee says, give me the ball because it's all over. And Meath are indeed the Leinster champions for the 19th time. They've had a most convincing win against Dublin. It may have been tight in the first half, but players like Donald Curtis went back into the half-back line to tie matters up when Enda McManus went off injured. Sean Boylan is a very, very happy manager. The subs come on as well to share in this moment of joy. Barry Callahan there, one of them. But Ollie Murphy with a goal and 5 points, the goal after 24 minutes. What a star! And also Trevor Giles. His placing of that ball was immaculate. They were strong in defence, and by comparison, Dublin simply weren't able to produce the goods on this particular day. And Tommy Dowd there with Dennis Smith coming in to share this glory moment as well, because glory moment it is for Meath. It's got to be Meath against Armagh in the All-Ireland football semi-final. John McDermott there is getting a pat on the back from the backroom team and the county board officials. But it's been a terrific Meath victory here. And so disappointment is Dublin's lot. But the full-time score for the record is Meath, the winners, by 114 to 12 points. So a magic moment for Graham Geraghty. The Meath captain takes the trophy, and Meath are champions in Leinster.
It's every player's dream to captain their team to win something, and a Leinster title is probably, I think, it's the best provincial, contest ever. So, it's a great honour. And Sean asked me at the start of the year will be captain. I was delighted to take it on.
I suppose it's a huge relief. This was my 6th Leinster final today, and I'd only won one before this, so it was a big thing today, just even to win the Leinster final. We set out at the start of the year just to try and win a Leinster. Very difficult province to come out of, and we're just absolutely delighted to come out of the Leinster.
You're on the same story as against Wicklow and Offaly. The last 15 minutes you just tore away from the Dubs.
Yeah, we've been training very hard over the last month, and we've been working on consistency and stamina, so, total in the finish today.
At the beginning of the match you had 2 frees that maybe on another day you would have swung over without even thinking about it. Today they went wide and people were starting to wonder, was it going to set a precedent?
Yeah, I suppose there were 2 fairly handy frees I missed. I suppose going back to 96, I missed a couple of handy ones that day as well, so, and it turned out all right. So I just kept going, and it eventually comes off, I suppose I had a bad day here last year, fell over myself, but I'm just delighted today. It turned out a lot better, and just absolutely delighted.
Was last year at all in your mind during the match today?
No, not really. A Meath and Dublin Leinster final is a huge occasion, and there's a huge crowd there today. It's very warm out there, and we're delighted to win.
Obviously we're very disappointed. We had put a lot of effort and endeavour into this year and into this game and the preparation of the game, but I've no complaints. I'm happy the fellas went out there and give it everything they had. That's all we asked of them, to come off the field and say that they gave an honest effort, and I'm satisfied that they did that. They're very disappointed themselves. Obviously they expected more. We all expected more from the amount of effort that was put into it, but someday that'll come back to us.
Looking at the game, we all were aware that Ollie Murphy was playing quite well, and we just decided to keep kicking the ball into Ollie, and fair play to him. He won nearly everything that came into him, and he put away the goal brilliantly, which was probably the turning point of the game.
How do you evaluate the state of Dublin football now?
Well, it's difficult. This is the worst time to be a manager. Nobody wants to be a manager when you lose. But it's, we can't just turn around and leave it. There's a job to be done. I think there's a huge amount of work to be done, and we never underestimated the amount of work to be done coming into this job, because Dublin football was at a low ebb. And it's a fight against other sports in the city to put Gaelic football back where it belongs. It is certainly a struggle. But I think we're equal to the task, and I think the players that we have are equal to the task, and someday I'm sure it'll come right.
Well, certainly Dublin played with all the pride and passion that you would expect from those wearing the county jersey, but today, well, it just wasn't enough. Meath were magnificent. The Leinster title deservedly theirs, and who's to say there won't be more silverware by the end of the summer. Colin O'Rourke, first of all, congratulations to you and to Meath. The interesting thing that Trevor Giles made the point there, we're inclined to think at times, you know, that Meath players are winning all the time. But as he said exactly, this is rare enough for him too.
Yes, and I suppose all over the country you'd have the impression from people that Meath are the top side nearly going back to the last decade. But since 91, Meath have won one Leinster title in 96 before today. And Trevor said he was relieved. I know from talking to him before the game that he had his sights set on just winning in Leinster. I'm sure Sean Boylan is very relieved, because to have lost 5 Leinster titles out of 6 would have been a terrible record for Meath football. So now I'd say the pressure is off the players to a certain extent. It wasn't a great game, played in a great atmosphere of colour, but Meath to me always seemed in control of it, because Dublin weren't good. They were very, very poor. And Meath had a dominant grip from early on in the second half, and I don't think you could really see any winner from about 10 minutes gone in the second half.
Well, I think anything that was breaking, certainly around the middle of the field, was falling Meath's way.
Yeah, Meath were very good at picking up breaks, and we can see here a couple of examples that I picked out. Davy Byrne kicking out first of all. Now, breaking ball is not just a thing of standing with your mouth open and hoping that it'll come to somebody. Meath moved the ball out of the midfield very, very quickly. Trevor Giles got a lot of the breaks and he sent the ball forward. Richie Keeley gets it here, and then it goes into Ollie Murphy. Trevor said they thought that he was on song. Padder Andrews buys the first of many dummies that he bought there, and Ollie Murphy puts it over the bar. But it's a sign of a good team to get the ball to the fella on form. Again, a Meath kick out. Darren Homey should have picked it up, but again, to get it out of the middle of the field quickly, and Meath of this policy, kick the ball forward. There's good men in there. Graham Geraghty lays it off to Nigel Nestor. Nigel had missed a few. He decides he's not going to shoot again and miss another one. He gives it to Trevor Giles, who puts it over the bar. So in the space of about 10 seconds there, the ball comes from a kick out and was over the bar. And Meath are very good at that sort of thing. It's not just breaking the ball down and winning in the middle of the field, but getting it away from that area very, very quickly.
Tommy Carr said there that all he asked from the players was an honest effort. They certainly gave him that. But they never looked like getting some of the scores that Meath were able to get during the game.
No, the Meath forwards really destroyed them, because, again, you had Geraghty and Murphy inside for Meath, and Dublin would have expected that Robertson and Sherlock might do the same. But in fairness, it was a no contest in that regard. Meath's kicking of the ball was very good for scores. Now, there's Nigel Nestor kicking a brilliant point. A good foot pass from Hank Traynor up into the corner, and a very, very nice point from the wrong side. To me, this is one of the points of the year, not just of the game. What a catch, but not only to catch it, but to maintain his balance after coming down and kick it over the bar. It was a really brilliant score, and you hadn't a Dublin forward whoever looked like doing that. Now, Jim Gavin tried very hard, but this is the score of the game probably insofar as Giles again puts a brilliant ball across to Murphy. Now, that wasn't an easy chance. He was going away from goal, but he's very, very accurate, and I suppose Ollie today showed put 2 really good games together, and he's always had this promise in Meath club football, and he's really delivered in a big way today on the county scene.
Dublin's efforts up front, I suppose, were something of a mixed bag of stuff, and right early in the game, Jason Sherlock had an opportunity. Had that been a goal, who knows what might have happened in the pattern of the game. Yeah,
well, Dublin came out and controlled the first 10 minutes of both halves, and they had this brilliant chance at the start. Ian Robertson takes the ball and takes a hefty challenge, gets it off to Gio, and you'd expect him to score there. Probably should have gone around the keeper, but in fairness, Cormac Sullivan was out like a flash and down on his boot. And that was the goal that Dublin needed. And the only player for me who really took the fight to Meath all day was Kieran Whelan. And here we have him kicking a superb point from play. But it was few and far between from a Dublin point of view. And really up front, Dublin were a bit lacking in creativity and lacking ideas, whereas when the ball went down the other side, you could see Meath seemed to have room and time. And I suppose the other thing about it, Dublin had a few new backs, and they got a real taste of what championship football was about. Padder Andrews was exposed. Maybe he shouldn't have been exposed the way he was. He shouldn't have been left there. I was surprised that Paddy Morton wasn't put on Ollie Murphy, because I know from experience Paddy Morton is not the sort of cornerback that you like having around. So I think it was a big mistake there on the Dublin management point of view.
Let me bring Martin Carney in on this, because Martin, you were watching the game with us obviously live this afternoon as well. Your assessment of it?
Very impressed with Meath. you know, they did all the basic things right, getting forced to the ball, these long raking kicks into the full forward line. It's a tactic they've employed since your man here was in the full forward line, but they're still doing it under Sean Boylan's tutelage, and they were superb at it today. I thought Tommy Dowd's absence would cause a little bit of a problem for them, but okay, Ollie Murphy was on song, and as we said during the game today, like, his feet movement are simply exceptional. Like, he's, as I said, he's the feet of a dancer. The way he can change direction so
Ollie
simply.
Murphy has the feet of a dancer. O'Rourke used to have the elbows of a dancer.
Yeah, they were like two razors.
Sean Boylan's gone for a different type of corner forward.
Yeah, but no, well, I must say he certainly was subtle today. He was very accurate, and like, again, he exploited the inexperience of young Andrews again and again during the game. But the whole Meath team, like, their ability to be aggressive in a fair and controlled way was very impressive to me. John McDermott gave a magnificent display at midfield. I thought, okay, Kieran Whelan battled, you know, gamely right to the end, but they're certainly looking very formidable at the moment, and there's a great prospect of you know, a fine game against Armagh, the semi-final.
Well, we've seen both of these semi-finals in action today. Now, from what you saw, who's going to win that semi-final?
Well, I don't know. I think the thing about Meath are going to be very strong for maybe down we're weak today. I think Meath have Mark O'Reilly and Darren Fay in the full back line, and their tussle with Oisin McConville and Diarmuid Morrison could be critical to the outcome of that match. At midfield, I think John McDermott will be even improving from where he was today, and his game against Jarlath Burns is going to be worth watching. I'm very impressed with the Meath defensive ability right throughout the field, and their simple way of playing football. First to the breaking ball, getting it in quickly. At the beginning of the year, I tipped them to go and win an All-Ireland, and not changing my mind on that.
Colin, what do you think about it?
Well, I'd obviously have a totally unbiased opinion of this semi-final, but I do expect Meath to win, because Martin has made the point. Meath's strength is their full back line, I think, at the moment, and have been able to snuff out the dangerous full forward line of both Offaly and Dublin. Now, they're coming up against Morrison and McConville, and those two, I think, are better than anything they've met so far. But Meath have the power in the right places, and I don't know whether the Armagh full back line would be able to cope with Geraghty and Murphy on the sort of form that they have today. But an important aspect of the game is the weather conditions. Meath really like a dry ball and fast ground, and if it remains like this for the rest of the month, we're going to see the sort of conditions that favour Meath. If you have a wet, messy, windy day, then anything can happen.
OK, now, one further item on this Leinster final, and that's Colin's choice from Man of the Match.
Well, many people probably felt that Ollie Murphy should have been the man of the match in the game against Offaly, but today he really put on an exhibition. He was able to jink off one foot and kick points for sport with the other, a goal and 5 points from play. He was helped greatly by the sort of service he got from Trevor Giles out the field, but it was a command performance from him.
Well, absolutely. The feet of a dancer, there's no doubt about it. Well done indeed to Ollie. OK, we have another commercial break coming up here on the programme. After that, we have a roundup of the day's two minor matches in Ulster.